How's it going, everybody? This is Rob of Novakast back with some more of reading Onision's book. Alright. We are slowly getting done with this fucking thing. Alright. Next chapter. Alright. Months passed. By the way, this is chapter 11. Alright. Months passed. I was lying in bed looking at the wood poles bracing the top of my ceiling. Why was I alive? Where were all of us alive? Why were any of us alive? Why was my existence surrounded by death? Why was I given the ability to know automatically when death was near me? A few weeks back, one of our teachers had a heart attack in the middle of class. No students were being noisy or anything. Many people act like you only get heart attacks when someone surprises you or you're exercising. Mr. Lucas died right in front of his 5th grade class, and he wasn't even standing up. Just died in his chair, and it took the class around a half an hour to notice. You'd think, that doesn't seem possible. You'd think people in class would notice what was going on with the teacher. But whatever. Across the building, I felt him die. The presence of warmth haunted me many walls away. I could even tell you what his soul looked like if I closed my eyes. Yellow it glowed. It was yellow on the inside. It had a tail, like a neon creature, if anything. Daniel, turn out your light, my mom shouted from the front room. I was so sick of being tormented by those beyond most anyone's comprehension, let alone the fact I'm just a kid. How am I supposed to be functional, even remotely sane, in an environment that seemingly constantly reminds me of the worst part of life? One that throws it in my face even if I run. What happens if I go to sleep? I get abducted again. Mom, I'll turn off my light in a minute, I yelled back. My mother wasn't interested in anything but absolute compliance. Her constant working, dealing with the people she encountered every day, it made her headstrong, unwilling to budge for most anyone, especially me. You go to bed now or you're in trouble, my mom hollered back. I replied, oh, what are you going to do? My mom immediately slapped her belt against my door. As the belt impacted, I could hear the cheap wood door creak as if it had been dented from the outside. I screamed again. So you're going to hit me? Or you go ahead and beat me then, Mom. I don't care. I just want a light to be on. Leave me. As I screamed, I heard a sudden noise. I don't even know how to describe it. I stopped speaking altogether. After a few seconds of silence, I heard my mom screaming in a most horrified voice I had ever endured. Call the hospital, please, my mom desperately moaned. I jumped down the ladder off my bunk bed and opened the door. Blood was flickered on my chin and neck as my mom spun around, clutching her eyes. Both her hands were firmly locked on her face as I could see blood gushing through her fingers. Daniel, my mom stuttered, then collapsed, smacking her head against our kitchen counter just outside my bedroom door. I dropped to my knees, began screaming, Mom, what happened? What did you do? She had to have put something in her eye. I couldn't see through the door. I had no idea what was going on. My sister and Papa were now closely crouching behind me. My Papa had the phone on his hand and was dialing for help. Desperate to know what happened to my mom's eye, I slowly put both my hands on her, began to pull them away. Even in her fall, she had a deft grip on her cheeks, the bridge of her nose and eyebrows. But as I applied pressure away, it was like her muscles relaxed and willingly moved with the intention of my mind. Initially, my mother's eyelids were caved in as if her eyes had melted in her head, but I didn't see this until I began manually turning her unconscious head towards me. Right before I saw her eye socket appear to almost be entirely empty, I also witnessed them once again filling, revealing blood-covered but fully restored green eyes. My mother was immediately conscious of and blinking the blood out of her eyes. She was calm and smiled as soon as she realized we were all around her. Papa was speechless, and Joanna, with tears in her eyes, screamed, "What was that? That's impossible. What is going on?" "Why, what?" I looked back at Joanna, equally horrified by what just happened. My mom continued to smile. She stood up. My papa proceeded to tell the emergency operator to send someone out regardless of the development, as none of us had any idea what's going on. By the time the first responder showed up, my mom had wiped off all the blood off her face, put on makeup, and cleaned the house. We were out in the middle of nowhere. After all, she had time. The ambulance drivers looked over my mom and concluded we were all genuinely insane. My mom was honestly with us about what happened, but her constant smile didn't help any of us appearing less crazy. At about 4 a.m., I got some sleep and by 6:45 a.m., I was off to school. Papa said I could stay home, but I really didn't want to be anywhere near the house for a while. I didn't talk to anyone till lunchtime. Doesn't he... I just realized for this book, doesn't he... Like, for these books, he claims like this is based off what happened in real life. This seems like really bad science fiction to me. It really does. Like, piss poor writing science fiction. And, like, the story itself is very fucking jumbled. I didn't talk to anyone till lunch time came around. David came up to me when I was eating to apologize for being distant from me again, but I wasn't in the mood and screamed at him to go away. I continued to eat my mashed potatoes and chicken nuggets alone. A 12-seat table sitting by myself. I would dip my chicken nuggets in the mashed potatoes, scoop some of the potatoes up to my mouth with the nugget, eat and repeat. Sometimes when I got thirsty, I would just drink my chocolate milk and think about how much I hate everyone at this point. "Nice to finally meet you with the lights on, Daniel," a voice said, coming from the corner of my right eye. Refusing to look at them, I replied, "Piss off." I could hear them chuckling under their breath. They continued, "You did the same thing to me." You did the same thing to me that you did to your mom last night. I would be mad, but I did that to someone when I was younger too, so I understand. I was frozen. Was I dreaming? What sociopath nut job was talking to me? How would they know? I screamed. What? As I aggressively looked up at them. It was the special ed kid. A voice came from the side of the cafeteria from the faculty member who originally pulled me off Philip when I was punching his face in. Calm down, Daniel. I will take you right back to the principal. A few kids laughed and they went back to eating. The special ed kid sat down. So, I thought you should know I'm here, even under this metal roof, the freckled boy said as he pointed up at the ceiling of the school. He continued, "Can I have your apple?" as he reached out and snatched it off my tray. I remained frozen with complete tunnel vision. The fuck is tunnel vision? The boy said, "Look, I can tell you're in shock and we can talk more later." He chomped into my apple, eating relatively normal as if he was actually human. As I continued my horrified gaze at the boy, horrified gaze, period, the boy asked, "Did you want me to take care of anyone, by the way? Your drunk uncle, your snobby sister? You can put quite the scare in some people. Not you, though. Not on the ship, at least." Yeah, this is definitely a bad science fiction. This fucking sucks. I was done looking at him. I saw a glint in his eye that haunted me to my core. I mumbled under my breath, "Please go away." Then I looked up. He was still there. He chimed in, "Oh, sorry, yes." The boy bit another chunk of the apple off and stood up and walked away. To walk away. He was about 20 feet away before I realized I peed myself without hesitating. I grabbed my chocolate milk and dumped it into my lap. Damn it, I screamed in an attempt to hide the fact that I was trying not to cry. I grabbed napkins to clean up and had now masked my milk spill, and the lunch bell rang, ending our meal break. Everyone walked away as if nothing had happened except me. Okay, yeah, this is a really piss poor freaking science fiction story. Oh gosh, and I've heard it's gonna get worse. We're nearing the end anyway, so alright, I'm gonna end this here. We'll continue the next chapter on the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. This is Rob of Novakast signing off. Have a good one, and take care. Peace.